got a number one victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we bout to get down. 10 kills on the board right now. Just wiped out Tomato Town.
Welcome back to What's Poppin' with Leah and Duca. I'm Leah.
And I'm Duca.
And today we are going to mix it up a little bit because we've been talking pretty much primarily about movies and shows, things of that nature. But today we'll be talking about music. Specifically, music we like, music we maybe don't like so much, and maybe something that we don't know if we like or not yet, but we're going to figure it out together. We're also going to be talking about our favorites. And potentially, this will be cut out if we don't talk about it. Tik Tok songs. We'll see what happens, but it should be a good time.
We'll see where the day takes us.
We will see.
Okay, do you want to start? Because I gotta think of something right now.
Yeah, so I'll start. So I honestly have a very confusing music story. I mean, I think it's confusing. It's probably really not. I probably think it's confusing because I like to make things intricate. But I've always liked older music. And when I say that, I don't just mean like I listen to the Beatles on occasion. I don't just mean I listen to the 80s music, although there was a phase where that happened. But as long as I can remember, my dad would like take my iPod Nano. Yes, I still have it, by the way. And while I was at school, he would download songs off of iTunes. Remember that when we didn't have Spotify? Crazy stuff. And he would download like music he liked and stuff he thought that I would enjoy from like the 70s, and the 60s and stuff like that. So I kind of grew up listening to that, and my parents always kind of listened to that kind of stuff as well. But what I really hate about being this person is that people think that I'm trying to become a cliche. I believe people call it like a hipster at this point if you own a record player. And I just want to make a PSA that not all people who own record players do it for the trend. I've owned a record player for a long time, before it was cool to do so, in fact, and people mocked me for it for years. So I would just like to point out that I am not one of those people who got it to be cool, because I know I'm not cool. I bought it because I like listening to vinyl. And
what an inspirational story.
Right, isn't it? No, and like honestly, I've never listened to old music to be cool. It's just legitimately what I like. And I get really, I don't know if you can tell, I have a passion for arguing with people about this because people think that I'm like trying to be trendy and cool by liking old things. And like people will challenge me. Like when I say Queen's my favorite band, they're like, "We'll name all the members." And then I'll say all the members' names, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know those last two." So, like, I don't want to get into it, but I will if I need to. I enjoy older music.
I really just want to witness you get into a fight with someone about, like, the Beatles or, like, Queen now. Like, I'm genuinely...
I don't think you do. I don't really think you do. No, it happens all the time, because when I, like, freshman year, people would be like, "Oh, what kind of music do you listen to?" And, like, for lack of a better answer, I said 80s music, because a lot of what I listened to was just, like, 80s music at the time. Less so now. But, so people thought that I was, like, that girl who was, like, born... Like, I would say I was born in the wrong century, and you know how everyone's like, "Oh, it's a quirky girl thing to say." Like, that's not why I said it. Like, I literally just meant I don't like music today. I like it better now, but 4 or 5 years ago, I thought it sucked. Because it kind of did. Don't come at me. Yeah, I'm gonna get thrashed, but that's okay.
Yeah. I think it sucks more now than 4 or 5 years ago because, like, everything, it hasn't changed since 4 or 5 years ago. But I feel like it's still kind of the same, and there's just nothing new. Although I will say Cardi B song Up slaps.
Okay, here's the other thing. I really don't want to get into this, but we're gonna have to, I guess. I used to be, like, when I was younger, I kind of fought liking older music. I was like, I'm gonna like new music. So I would make my dad download, like, pop songs that were really pop. So, like, you know, I had Miranda Cosgrove, I had Selena Gomez, I had One Direction. I was a One Direction fan. I'm gonna admit it, because you know what? I thought Harry Styles was attractive before everyone else did. And, I take great pride in that. So...
I was more of a Niall chick.
That's fair. We'll get back to that, honestly, probably. No, but, like, I just remember when I was younger, I liked Justin Bieber. And I say that, I liked, like, 2 of his songs.
Oh,
that was one of the songs I knew. No, and like I thought he was cute when he was younger. And so like, I got made fun of a lot, like in school, out of school, by my family, by everyone for liking I'm not even kidding you, for liking Justin Bieber. And I feel like that almost scarred me into liking older music because like no one was young at that, like Bon Jovi's not young. You can't judge me. Like, so, but now everyone's like into, like, well, not now. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago. Was into Justin Bieber and into Harry Styles. I mean, that is now. What I'm saying. Yeah. But like
Harry
now,
Styles is now forever.
Yeah, and now everyone's like, oh my god, this is so great. And I'm like, are you serious? So I feel like I'm almost just scarred by my experiences. And I have to say, Lizzo, I know she's not like new, but like I'm a fan of her work. Like, yeah, like, I love, she is the queen. She's the queen.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Yes, she is.
But that's why I think I'm literally just emotionally scarred from liking new music, that I no longer am allowing myself to do so. Except for I've gotten better at it in the last couple years. So
I'm glad you got better at it.
I like how this turned into like a deep.
Okay, and I don't want you to be scarred and be like, I can't do it. Like we can work through this together. I'll help you. I won't make fun of you.
Thank you.
That.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Well, how about you? Like, what do you listen to?
Okay, well, I think the fact that I had to make you go first and think of a topic that I listen to, or like a genre that I listen to, just kind of speaks for it all. Because, like, I don't know what I like. I like everything except for country.
Except for what?
Country.
Oh,
country
fair.
Literally makes me want to rip my hair out and then run myself over with the tractor that they are singing about.
I'm sorry. The reason I'm laughing is because, like, I've always said that I hate country, but in my family we have two different things that we call either rock fried country or country fried rock. And my dad makes fun of me because he doesn't like country either, but he makes fun of me because I listen to like Leonard Skinner, which he calls rock fried country. He's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
But like I don't listen to a lot of Leonard Skinner, just like some of it. But that just made me laugh really hard because like you're so right.
Country is horrible, and no one should subject themselves to that. Like, I'm sorry.
I feel like someone's gonna
country, like we can't be friends. I'm sorry.
Ooh, oh wow,
like,
you heard it here.
To anyone listening, I have no respect for you if you like country music.
Everyone, you heard it here
and I'm
first.
I'm not cutting that out. I'm leaving that in.
I don't doubt it.
But so I mean, I listen to a broad array of music. I don't have Spotify. I have Apple Music because, like, my brothers are millennials, and apparently I don't act like a Gen Z. I am a millennial, so it's fine. I'm not a millennial, but, like, I act like one. So
has to defend that they're not a millennial. Anywho.
I listen to a lot of punk rock. I listen to a lot of heavy metal. I listen to a lot of Lady Gaga.
Oh, fair. Well, who doesn't? I mean, really, yeah. I listen to Lady Gaga. I listen to a lot of older music, too. I'm more into 80s than I am 70s, but I go through phases where I go through, like, both. I would say, like, basically any form of rock I'm really into. Yeah, I kind of agree. I, honestly, when people ask me now, I say classic rock, because that's probably what, like, the majority of what I listen to. But, like, so, like, the thing that I've noticed over the last few years, because I didn't always have Spotify. I only got Spotify like 4 years ago. I didn't know it existed before then. It's my favorite thing ever. And I love how they do like the Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year. And basically, if you don't know what that is, it'll tell you like your top artists, your top 5 songs. It'll make a playlist for you based on like the songs that you played the most all year. And every year, the combination of like genres and types of music and just like weird stuff in mine like astounds me. Like, that's very fair. Like, just very to give you a sample, like I say I like classic rock, and I do. Let me just find like a weird section. Okay, yeah, this is kind of a funky section. So this is like in order too. We have More Than a Feeling by Boston, which that's like 70s, 80s, probably more 80s. Then we have All Out of Love by Air Supply. Don't Come For Me, okay? And then guess what comes after that? Sorry. Guess what comes after All Out of Love?
Heat of the moment.
No. Shallow by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. And then after that, we have Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum, which we're not going to get into. And then we have Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
I walk around.
Yeah, so like,
God, you're an angsty emo boy.
I am. That's the thing. It's like, I feel like it depends on my mood. Because like on my top 20 songs, I got some like classic rock. I've got some more punk rock. I've got some more like angsty emo rock. I've got, more like soft, like calming music. I've got Disney songs because, sometimes you're in the mood to sing old Disney songs. You get sad, you sing Disney songs. Don't Come For Me because you do it too. And then you got like random 80s stuff that you haven't listened to since you were 10 years old. So I feel like it depends on the mood. And I think that's kind of a universal truth.
Yeah. No. Looking back at, because I just got rid of Spotify last year. I'm relatively new to Apple Music, but looking back at it, I remember how on mine, it went from Is There Life on Mars by David Bowie, and then it just immediately went to WAP. It was like, yes, this is your top listen good. It's like WAP. I'm like, that's so
Did it really?
It really did. I'm like, that's some great like summer music genres.
That's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I personally don't know how to feel about it, but I know that it's true.
Be proud.
Like, I saw it and I'm like, WAP's gonna be next. And it made sense.
Be proud. Really, I would be proud.
Should I be proud? I think I should be more concerned than I am. And I think you should be too.
Well, sure. Fair enough. I mean, I have to say, I think over the last few years especially, my taste has changed a lot. Because like I said before, in like middle school, maybe into freshman year, I listened to a lot of 80s. Like it wasn't like good 80s. A lot of it was like basic 80s. And I think that was part of the problem because I got so sick of it so fast, but like I didn't know what else to listen to because off the top of my head, I was like, I only like 80s. But then if I like thought about it, I'm like, oh no, these other bands I like are not from the 80s. So I kind of abandoned that. I still have that playlist like deep down on my Spotify. I believe it's called Pump Up Jams. Yeah, because that's what you listen to before a basketball game. Duh. And so that's when I kind of started listening to more like 70s classic rock. And also like I feel like this will just help to make sense. A lot of what I listened to was on the Guardians of the Galaxy playlist. Like people were like, oh my god, this playlist is so good. And they're like, have you heard this song? I was like, yeah, I've been listening to that song for years. And they're like, well, you couldn't have. It was on Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm like, no. I was like, that song has been around for like 45 years. So I can. And I just think that's really funny because it brings me joy when people try to tell me that Guardians of the Galaxy music is not from the 70s. It brings me joy. So that's what I equate my personal playlist preferences to. And then after that, I kind of got sick of the 70s because, when you listen, you can only listen to so much Queen. I mean, no, you can't actually. That's a lie. I can listen to Queen every day. But you need to spice it up. So now I've kind of gone back and like listened to maybe like 2010s through now music. And I'm trying to get back into that and listen to more stuff that is more modern / more people my age could probably relate to more.
That's fair. I mean, I shouldn't even talk about what I listened to 2 years ago because no one's going to care. I was a sad emo boy. No one wants to hear about that.
I mean, I kind of do.
You do? Okay. You're going to regret saying that. It was a lot of MCR and a lot of Nirvana. And I just remember being in the car with, like, my mom still had to drive me because I was, like, 15. All my friends were, like, 14 or 15. And, like, no one would give me the aux because my music was too depressing.
Okay, you know what's so funny? That was true for not because my music was depressing, but people would refuse to give me the aux because of how old the songs were. Like none of my friends liked my music, and then my parents got annoyed with me because I like songs that they might have liked in high school, but also it was on all the time on like MTV, so that's all they heard. And my mom, I remember vividly, for Hanukkah one year, my parents got me like the Best of Queen record. because Queen's probably my favorite band. Yeah, I'm gonna say my favorite. And I didn't have any of like their music in like physical copy. I was just listening to it on Spotify. So they got it for me, and I was, playing it nonstop because that's what I do. I'm one of the people who can listen to the same song for like days straight without being annoyed by it. And so I was listening to it, and there was like 4 different sides, right? It was 2 records, so it was fine. It was different songs, but I played it, I think, for at least a week straight. And my mom came in, and she was like, Leah, I cannot listen to any more Queen. If you don't change that right now, I'm going to smash that record. And I was like, oh, okay. Moving on then. And so after that, I kind of, somehow I went from Queen to Elton John. Yeah, I can't explain that. But so then that was the same process with Elton John, where I got the record and consistently played it for about a month. And my mom came in and she said, if I hear Goodbye Yellow Brick Road one more time, I'm going to jump out that window. And I was like, okay, that's fair. I've been playing it a lot. So then I changed it. But that's how it's always been for me, is my parents wouldn't like my music because they knew all of it. And then my friends wouldn't like my music because they're like, play something new. And I'd be like trying to play Come On Eileen in the car. And they're like, oh my God, ew, the 80s. And I was like, calm down. You're 12. What do you know about music? But
meanwhile, you are also 12.
I was also 12, but I was 12 and understood that Come On Eileen is a good song. You're laughing, but you know that I'm right.
I mean, you're not wrong. Is it in one of my playlists? Yes.
Is it in all of my playlists? Yes.
Should we talk about some modern music, though?
I mean, if you really want to. No, yeah, let's do it.
I mean, okay, because I really want to get into TikTok songs and, how they've impacted it.
TikTok annoys me in this situation.
I mean, okay. I feel like, again, it's kind of like the whole Guardians of the Galaxy thing where, older music came back and people were like, oh, this is so cool if you listen to it. TikTok has recycled a lot of older music. And, people, I don't know anyone personally in my grade, thank God, that's come up to me and asked me this, but, my little cousin was, showing me a reel, and she's like, this is, the coolest song ever. Is this new? And I'm like, it was, what song was it? It was, an ABBA song.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
I'm sorry I sound so, aggressively shocked, but I am.
And, it was, the intro to the,
it was, Dancing Queen or something?
How does that one go? Yeah.
Oh, how can you not know what that is?
I don't know. But, she asked me, she's like, is this new? I'm like, no.
Is it the new
We're not
hot
family
thing?
members anymore.
I disown you. No, I mean, on the one hand, I'm very happy that TikTok has kind of brought back these songs because I feel like right around now, people are finally appreciating my music taste. Because like I said, I've been made fun of. I wish I was making this up. I'm not exaggerating. People have made fun of me for my music taste in the past. But then what was that song? Crap. I think there was a Elton John song or something like that. This was a year ago. That was
Rocket Man?
Was that the big song on TikTok?
I can't remember. I know it was kind of trending for a little while.
Then it might have been that one because it was something I had been listening to for years. And people were like, oh my God, it's the new hot song on TikTok. Because it was the song everyone was using for their videos. And there was a dance for it or something. But it irritated me because it's hypocritical, in my opinion, that it was the same people who in middle school told me that my music taste sucked were now doing these dances that, by the way, are not relevant to the time period in which the song takes place. People are twerking to I don't want to say Elton John because I'm not sure they did to that one, but it's stuff like that where it's they're doing these dance moves that do not go with the song specifically. So
it's kind of the same thing with Zanzibar too.
Yeah, or and you know that song Constantinople, Istanbul is Constantinople. Yeah. That one too. It was the same thing.
And Rasputin too. It's
yeah, which I mean to be fair, I only listened to that because of Just Dance, but that's a different story. So
yeah, my parents hadn't even listened to that, so I guess I can't really credit it, but
yeah, some of them are from 2010s, so it's I guess it makes sense that those are just coming back now. But there's just some that it really, really irritates me that have been really popular because of people that used to make fun of me for hating it or for liking it when they hated it.
Yeah. I know. It's kind of irritating. And, like, just, like, I feel like people think that they're more educated in music now, when in reality they're not. Like, I remember I was in the car, and, I was playing Zanzibar, and I was playing with one of my friends that listens to, like, 70s, 80s music. And to be fair, it's, like, a rare song. But when it got to, like, the chorus line, she just started doing the dance. She's like, I didn't even realize this is that song. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people don't.
Yeah, like, and you know, oh, what's that song called? I don't know, like, so sorry, I don't know what's happening. We'll cut that out. No, so, like, at the beginning of the pandemic, I was obviously, I think everyone was watching a lot more TikTok than usual. But
absolutely,
when that sound is like, last night I had the strangest dream was trending, I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, good, like, I like this song, like, awesome. But then I realized, like, that was the hot song. And I'm like, out of all the music you could have picked, this was the one? Because, like, I like that song, but it's like, that's not even the best song from that era.
It's not. I mean, it's like a good song.
No, it's a good song. I enjoy it. I've listened to it many a time. I just thought it was hilarious because I'm like, how can that be popular now? I liked that before. And, like, that's what irritates me, because I'm glad that songs are getting more credit and more traction. And people, like, I feel like it's fun to see people listen to new things, because a lot of my friends, I don't want to be mean, I personally think they have kind of bad music taste, because not just because they like new music, because some of the new music is good, and, like, I know everyone has different tastes, but they'll listen to the songs, like, that don't even have a beat to it. Like, it's just, you know, you can't sing along, you can't dance to it. And I just think, like, you know, if you're not dancing to it, you're probably going to want to sing along. And if you can't sing along, then what are you doing with it, I guess? That's kind of controversial, so we'll come back to that. But, like, I don't know, I just think I'm glad that people are getting new exposure to new things, I guess. But it still frustrates me.
I will say that TikTok has provided an outlet for, like, artists and enhancing new music. Like, I feel like trap music really picked up a lot because of TikTok. Like, not just because of TikTok, but, like, it's widely used on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I feel like Olivia Rodrigo's song would not have blown up as much if it weren't for TikTok.
True.
Like,
okay, that's a good song.
Actually, I have a funny story about this. You know how Sabrina Carpenter wrote the song, like, Skin or whatever, which is kind of like her comeback song? So I have that song and Driver's License on a playlist labeled The Girls Are Fighting that has a cup of tea and, like, a duck face lips with a peace sign.
Oh my gosh. That's really funny though.
I really hope that, like, I know on Spotify artists can see what playlist their songs are being put into, and I really hope it's the same thing for Apple Music.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. No, I mean, yeah, like, I'm glad that artists are getting more exposure to, like, a younger audience and stuff like that, but it makes me sad, like I've already said, because of the criticism, but also because, like, I feel like people are just making memes out of a lot of these.
Yeah, I guess that is one of the downfalls. One of the biggest downfalls to having TikTok as a platform for, like, new artists is, yeah, your song is going to get used as a meme. It's inevitable. Literally every song becomes a meme at some point. And I guess that has its pros and its cons. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't really want my music associated with some, like, stupid meme.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does kind of still spread the song around. And, like, I know a lot of the music that I've listened to, I've seen it from memes. Like, okay, this actually slaps, though. Like, I'm gonna listen to this.
Like, I guess they say that, you know, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So I feel like it's kind of that thing, because, like I said, I don't know most new artists' songs, especially if they've just come out. So, like, 34, 35, right? I sound like an old person. That's fine. Yeah, so, like, I knew of the song. I knew it was, like, Ariana Grande's new song, whatever. I had never heard it before, but I heard that sound on TikTok where it's like, can you stay up all night? And so, but then it came on the radio while I was driving somewhere the other day, and I was like, oh, okay, this is, like, a decent song. Like, I was, you know, bopping to it a little bit. But I feel like in that way, it's good because like I said, it exposes you to new artists, and it exposes, you know, different ages to different eras of artists. I just think it's a little frustrating, I would assume, as the artist to see that your song is being used to make like either memes or like bad dances. Not all of them are bad, but like some of them, I'm like, I would hate it if my song is that.
I mean, yeah, it's gotta be frustrating to scroll through TikTok and just be like, oh, like that's my song. And be like, oh, what are they doing?
Oh no, I'd rather
Hey,
not.
Doing this.
Yeah.
Should we do some recommendations for music artists?
I think we should. So we're gonna share with you some of our favorite artists, I think, and then do you want to like share maybe a few songs that are our favorites by those artists?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, great.
All right. Well, I gotta think of some more because the ones that I put down, I don't really listen to anymore. I mean, Hosier is really good. I listen to. Is that how you say it? I think you pronounce it Hosier. I pronounce it Hosier. I don't know if that's really how you pronounce it.
I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask.
Strawberry Wine, and also obviously Take Me to Church is like a classic, and I really like.
Oh, I even know that one. Look at me go. Look at me go.
But I really like their music, and I feel like it's good to vibe to, and there's a lot of hidden meaning behind it. So if you're in like an analytic mood, like good music to listen to.
I like it.
I'm gonna recommend like 2 more. Lady Gaga, I love, but I feel like everyone knows who she is.
Okay, but here's the thing. People are listening to her new stuff, which is good. But like,
yeah.
I always just get in that mood where I'm like, I need to listen to Poker Face right now, or I will pass out.
Okay, Poker Face and Telephone.
And
so good.
I feel like, okay, Born This Way has become like, I know it's become, I don't want to say like an anthem, but like kind of. I feel like for the LGBTQ community, which like makes sense, and I love like the message, but in general, I just love that song. Like I've loved that song for years, and I feel like that's one of the ones that kind of gets like really easily looked over, especially with her newer stuff. But like, oh, her voice line is so good.
Her voice line is really good, and just like the overall message of that song is like, it's really nice to hear, especially coming from like a pop singer, and like being able to hear like she reflects some of her struggles in it as well, and it's really cool.
I agree.
And then the other artist that I've been listening to, I gotta throw some metal in here. I'm sorry.
It's gonna happen.
3 Days Grace is another really good band. They're more like, they're not really metal. They're kind of like punk, like rockish.
Right.
Type. A song that's trending by them right now on TikTok is Animal I Have Become. But literally, like, any of their songs are really good. Painted is another really good one. I Hate Everything About You is another really good one.
Relatable, perfect.
But yeah, so I'd say those would be like my top 3 artists. How about you?
That's very fair. So one of my biggest recommendations, I haven't actually listened to them in a while, but they're one of the bands that I've always kind of liked, so I go back to them a lot, is The Clash. And like I feel like they're kind of an underrated band. My favorite album by them is London Calling. Like that's pretty much the only one I listen to. But the thing about The Clash I like is like if you go like with their early stuff or their later stuff or something, they're gonna have different sounds, because like when they first started, they were more punky, metally, and then like what I listen to, I would consider more like classic rock, sort of. Obviously, who's shocked? And then like later on, it's almost like if you think about the U2 kind of like movement where they become like softer later on. It's kind of like that.
Gotcha.
Sort of motion. And some of my favorite songs, I would say my favorite is probably The Right Profile. So yeah, The Right Profile is one of my favorites, and Train in Vain is probably my other favorite from that album. I'm trying to pick something other than like classic rock, but that's what I listen to, so you're gonna get it. It's what you're gonna get. So I've also Foreigner is again an older band, but I've not just started listening to them, but like kind of recently. And I really like pretty much all their songs, honestly. I would say, Jukebox Hero, I feel like is one that's kind of well known. And that's a good one. But one of my other favorites is Urgent, like urgently, that kind of thing. And that one's pretty good. And I like them because they're not soft, but they're not like hard rock either. And they kind of tell stories a little bit. And then you thought you were going to get out of this without me saying something about Queen, didn't you? You silly goose. You thought you could escape the Queen. Okay. Here's my thing. You can't really go wrong with Queen, in my opinion. They do have a lot of different styles, so it's kind of hard. But I really like Seven Seas of Rye. Like, that's kind of a whimsical one. That's really good. And, like, I like Bohemian Rhapsody. Who doesn't? But I feel like that's, a pretty basic one, and I want to expound your view on Queen a little bit. So some of the other ones I like are Under Pressure, which David Bowie actually helps out there. Killer Queen's another popular one, but I really like it. And honestly, Fat Bottom Girl, like, kind of catchy.
It slaps. Like, it's kind of appalling at first, but it also slaps, and it's like kind of a twisted body positivity.
Yeah, it's like you don't think it's body positivity, but like it kind of is, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But honestly, like any of it, anything from the album Queen, Queen 2, whatever. I like Night at the Opera, but Night at the Opera is a little bit more opera-y. So it's, if that's not your thing, you're probably not going to like it. But I always recommend that.
Yes. I Want to Break Free is another really good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Who can't like that one?
I know.
Who doesn't like that one?
But yeah, so we kind of covered everything here, and those are our choices. So I mean, take us up on it. If you don't, I guess that's okay.
I mean,
like, you're lost.
If you don't listen to Queen at least once in your life, who are you? You know what I mean?
Not a real person.
Right.
You have no personality.
Right.
You don't exist.
Right. And they're great, because you know what? Sometimes they're really soft, and sometimes they kind of go hard and are rocking the pants off you. So it's for all people. The fact that Duca and I like the same band is kind of amazing, honestly.
It is, because like we listen to a lot of like different genres. Like I feel like we have a lot of different favorite songs and stuff. So like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yes, correct. So we hope that you consider taking our ideas and our different types of music, and we hope you try it out. So next week, or the next time we do our podcast, it looks like we're going to be talking more about like YouTube, which we have not discussed yet on this podcast. And I see Duca smiling mischievously, which
I'm so excited. I'm like looking at our topic list and like I can't wait.
Yeah, this should be good. I'm excited. Yes. So if you are interested in that, even if you're not, come check it out. Could be a good time. And thank you for listening to What's Poppin'. This is Leah.
And this is Duca. I'm sorry, I forgot what my name was for a minute.
And we will see you next time.
You can take me Musty Mire, but not Loot Lake. I really love to chug with you. We can be pro Fortnite gamers.